Yeah, just, tired.
From playing Fallout 4 all day. It's an exhausting day for you.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Speletons. So, you know what I want to do before we leave? I want to find all the fucking ghostwriters. And I'm sure we can do it, because we only need 2. I believe, yeah, we only need 2. So, well, I'm sure we can do it. We just gotta, and one of them shouldn't be hard to find. The other one might be a search. What does this button do? Oh, okay. I guess we figured it out. Oh, shit, we have to go through the fucking... I wasn't ready to go for the hoops. Wait, I didn't do it. I wasn't clear where I was supposed to go. Also, seriously? It slides you off like that? That's kind of annoying, don't you think? Oh, please don't show the cutscene every single time.
I have to see it still. Probably.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it shows the cutscene every time, which is also annoying. Alright. Fortunately, I did it. Woo! New pagey. That's cool.
There's a lot in this game that seems like it was rushed.
Yeah, right? They did say they're working on a polish update, but still. Feels like a lot of this was like, it's just like done so quick. And it's like, oh, well, it kind of sucks. If you think about it, because like...
Yeah. I would put this game on an equal level to Unbox, honestly, in terms of, like, how it's done. Like, it was... No. Unbox was, like...
Unbox is way better than this. Are you kidding me?
Well, maybe...
This is... Unbox is still a solid 9 for us, and you said it was a 9.5, and this is, like, edging between 7.5 and 8 for me right now. Like...
Yeah, but game ratings are also weird.
No, like, my game ratings compare.
I mean...
They do, yeah. I promise they do. Like, for me...
Echo's got a 7.8. I don't know what that means.
That means it's okay.
Well, it also depends on who said it, because, like...
Oh, well, yes, because, like, I'm stuck in perpetual motion. Okay, please someone turn these bubbles off. Can I just collect the pagey? Or, like, do I have to turn off the bubbles? Oh, shit, don't, alright, thank God. Can we just collect the pagey? Well, he moved away from us. I wasn't really looking for him to do that. Alright. Oh, maybe we're supposed to just turn off the bubbles.
That might be one thing you can do.
Yeah. Alright, the bubbles have stopped moving, maybe. Hello? Oh.
Yes. Oh.
What just happened? Why can't I move? What the fuck? That was weird. Let me tell you. Alright, no, ratings are pretty, like, comparable between, like, the same sources. I don't know if, like, you can say, like, a 9 from, like, say, Game Informer is the same as a 9 from IGN.
Well, definitely not.
Because IGN is, like, awful. Don't trust anything IGN says ever.
I don't look at game reviews to decide if I want to buy a game or not, though. Because generally, I haven't seen, most game reviews I've seen are either just like, yeah, it's good. In which case, well, alright, it looked bad anyways.
No, there's more to that than game reviews.
A lot of good game reviews don't really tell me anything. Like if they're telling you positive things about it. And then a lot of negative.
You have to... see, I'm a good judge of, like, who's reviewing properly and who isn't reviewing properly. Okay. Yeah, well, I am, because there's a professional way to go about it. Like, if you're saying, like, oh, this game isn't like Call of Duty, specifically talking about Yooka-Laylee. Well, you're a shitty game reviewer. It's the fucking platformer. It's not supposed to be like Call of Duty,
Yeah.
The reason why I say never to listen to IGN is, I remember their Little Big Planet karting review. First of all, some of the things they said were just not true. But beyond that, or at least one of the things they said was not true. But beyond that, their entire argument, that entire fucking time for that review was, it's not Mod Nation Racers 2. Amazingly, Little Big Planet karting is not Mod Nation Racers 2. Who knew?
Yes.
It just astounds me that, like...
I've seen a lot of...
They gave it a 5 out of 10, too, for that, which is horrible, and it was basically a 7 to 8 out of 10 game on average from everywhere else, but they gave it a 5. And I'm not saying like, you know, like you can't have an opinion where you thought it was a 5 out of 10 game or something like that.
Yeah, but that's also why I don't like reviews, because a lot of times it's mostly just like, it's a person's opinion. It's not like, it's not a lot of times.
Reviews are always going to be an opinion.
I realize that, and like what I'm saying, and that's why I don't bother paying attention to them, like to like decide whether or not I want to get a game, is because like their opinion's probably different from mine.
Well, yeah, it always will be, but like.
Well, not always, but like.
Well, yeah, but like I'm saying, but like you can still like, for the most part. I still don't know what to fucking do with this part, by the way. But
I don't think reviews are generally a good thing to base buying a game off of. I don't, anyways.
No, they like reviews can be trustworthy. You just have to determine if they're doing it right. It's weird to say it like that, but like that's seriously all you gotta do. Like. IGN was very clear they were shitty reviewers, and I've never looked at another review after that one shitty review because it was so obvious that they're not professional at reviewing. Like, just from that alone. Game Informer, you know, they usually argue their point, and they defend it well. Like, they're saying is you can say, like, you know, a good game is like a 5 out of 10, and be right about it, because it's an opinion, as long as you defend it properly. But their entire complaint was, oh, it's not this other game. It's awful. And that's just one of the aspects about it. Like, you know, like, you gotta determine, like, sometimes, you know, like, how currently, I don't really enjoy much multiplayer shooter games anymore, really. So, you know,
they're
like,
not good.
Not good?
A lot of them are not good the way that they are now.
No, but I mean, I don't even care for games like Overwatch. And, you know, that's probably not... But, like, see, even though I don't care for Overwatch, I can't honestly... Well, I haven't really properly played it for myself, but... If I did, I can't just give it a fucking 5 out of 10 because I don't... You know, I'm not into the mood for multiplayer
I
team
personally
shooters.
would, but I wouldn't base it on, like, whether I like it. I'd base it on, like... Albeit, me not liking it probably would influence the review, just because, like, if I don't like it, it's hard to, it's harder to find good things to say about it. And, like, if I don't, there's certain aspects about Overwatch I don't like, and, like, I don't like them because it doesn't feel like it's it doesn't feel like it's the way it should be. Like, there are things in Overwatch, like, damage that characters do, or, like, the things like that, the balance of it doesn't feel right.
But they constantly update that.
Yeah, but they never get it right.
That's why they personal opinion. But that's too far into a personal opinion.
That's something that, like, is. I know people are. I know from what I've heard, that's general agreement with Overwatch is there is a pretty good lack of balance in the game, and that's why they continually update characters.
Everyone says that about everything, dude.
I realize that. I'm just saying I would absolutely say that in a review because it doesn't feel right. The way the balance feels in the game doesn't feel right. It doesn't. It feels like it's very just off balance. Like.
I haven't played it, so I can't fucking defend it on that.
I realize that. I don't know why you're trying to.
Well, since they constantly change it, though, that's not too much of a problem. Because they're trying to take player feedback to fix that issues.
Trying to change it and fixing it are two different things, though. Like.
Right. Except, well,
I don't care how much there's. It's nice that
they
they're
will
trying,
never get it right.
It's nice that they're trying.
Even if they did exactly what you said, you would still disagree.
My point is even if they don't have, if it's not right, it's still not right. I don't care about how much they tried.
Well, like,
it's a good thing they tried. It's not. I wouldn't say every game is bad.
No,
some games
do
feel like some games.
At that point, every multiplayer game is bad.
Well, no,
everyone's going to disagree with balance. And it's like near impossible to perfectly balance
people
everything.
will disagree in balance, but that doesn't matter. They're not writing the fucking review. I'm the one writing the review. I'm saying, like, if it's...
Oh, I know, but you still, like, if you like, properly took in balance for most review, like, for most, if not all games, you would probably say every game's bad. No game's ever going to be perfectly balanced. You can't... You can't expect that.
I disagree. I don't think, like...
You're absolutely wrong.
Like, there's plenty of games I've played where, like, nothing feels off balance.
Derek, you genuinely enjoy Microvolt Surge. You've lost argument to declare what you think is balanced.
I enjoy it. I didn't say that's balanced. That's a very much pay to get win game. I didn't say it's balanced. That's completely different.
Anyhow, ignoring all that.
This is why you're a shitty person to argue with.
No, because like that you're setting an expectation that you can never settle.
That's not entirely true. If it's not there, I'm not going to say it's there.
I'm not
that's
saying
something that's going to affect it. That's going to be part of. If it's not balanced, I'm going to say it's not balanced. That's like I realize making a balanced game is hard. I wouldn't say it's impossible, and like I'd say it's been done. I'm sure I do think it has been done before, but I'm just saying if it's not balanced, it's not balanced, and I'm going to say that in a review.
Name a game that's done it before. Honestly, Derek, I'd actually like to know.
TF2 before they did the updates.
No.
Before they did the updates.
No,
it felt very good.
No. Let's see here. Fucking Engineers were still OP back then. I remember that. I had Orange Box.
I had the Orange Box too. I played it.
Engineers. What else? Guess it was really just Engineers, huh?
That was more a lot of that depended on your team though, honestly, or your team.
Okay, like, now you defeated your own balancing issue.
Depends on your team and how well you do. My point is, it's balanced, but it could be unbalanced. Games could be unbalanced, and it could feel like that if your team's not doing anything about it. That's more or less just that a lot of people don't enjoy doing something about Engineers. They'd rather have someone else solve it while they do something else. So, like,
I still say Engineers are still pretty fucking strong in general. No way they're perfectly balanced. No,
I think
the thing is perfection.
Felt fine to me.
The thing is, perfection is pretty much unachievable in all aspects. There were always. What?
Here's an easier one. Halo 3's multiplayer. That felt perfect. That felt pretty balanced.
Well,
there wasn't much to unbalance it.
Yeah, well, that's also a team-based shooter, I guess. So it's not a team-based shooter. My bad. Wrong logic. Different thing. Like, everyone starts on the same ground at that point. Of course, I guess that, of course, it can't be unbalanced, but it's still unbalanced when you compare, say, new players to old players. But I was talking more about like team-based.
That's gonna be anything though. You can't like. You're not gonna be able to make something where like if you are brand new, you're gonna do as well as like someone who's been playing for a while. Frankly, that'd be unfair to longtime players if they were on an equal level to newcomers in terms
but
of
also like it doesn't apply to games where like you can't have everything the same. Like fucking like even still like you could even argue that map designs for team-based games or for free-for-all games are unfair. Halo 3 wasn't perfectly balanced. No, just on spawn points alone there was unbalances in the game and maps for sure. Now that I think about it, but that's a very, very small detail, but that's sort of my point. It'll never be perfectly balanced. I've just been running around doing nothing this entire episode. Let's go in here, I guess. But, what was my original point way back?
Or even, like, just maybe not, it doesn't have, a game's not going to be perfectly balanced, but, like, an acceptable amount of, an acceptable level of balance. Like, to where it doesn't feel like there shouldn't be like 10 people doing the same thing because it works because it's easy. So like it's kind of why certain or like a lot of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh are banned. It's just part of the reason they ban them is just because there'd be no reason if they weren't banned, everyone would use them because there's no reason not to. The reason it makes things unbalanced by.
I know. And that's why I like that Yu-Gi-Oh! Bans cards more than Magic, because there's no way that doesn't happen in Magic either.
It's very rare in Magic. They just don't print things.
I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, but you don't play it. You have no knowledge of it, so you don't really.
I can just take a guess. Also, your own bias against it.
Oh, it doesn't apply there. You can take a guess, but you're wrong.
Yeah, I don't think I am, to be honest.
There was a recent thing that they did have to ban for standard because it was called the looter scooter. What it was is that's not what it was actually called, but like that's what people called it because it was such a like universal card where you could put in anything and it was useful. So they banned it in standard because like everybody had it in their deck. So they banned it to encourage people to not, or to encourage or discourage, I guess, people from using the exact same thing, and like having to encourage more diversity in people's decks.
Yeah.
So like that's the most recent example I can think of something majorly being banned. There are there are things banned ever so often in Standard, but it's not very often. Recently there have been more things I think than normal, but
I didn't know I was gonna have to.
So like it does happen in Magic, but not nearly as much as Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right. Anyhow, my original point from way back when was that you kind of have to be professional. You kind of have to sort of separate yourself, your own personal enjoyment from it. Not like entirely, but like
yes, but that's very difficult. I would say not impossible to do. When you're saying how good something is, you're literally your job is literally just saying this or how good something is. If it's not something you like or something you enjoy, you're not going to be able to say.
You probably shouldn't review it then. It's my personal opinion. You probably just shouldn't. But that's the best. That's basically how I go about it. If you're not going to properly be able to review it, then you shouldn't really be worrying about that.
How can you really like screen for that, or how can
you know what you like as a gamer? If you played video games, you know what you fucking like in video games. Like that, you're off your rocker if you think people don't know the answers to that question. I'm about to die. Oh, the cannonballs destroy these things. I didn't know that.
It's also why I think game reviews are stupid in general, or in the first place, because like they serve honestly no purpose unless they actually just tell you, hey, here are things the game does that don't break. Here are things that the game does that do break.
No, you can totally tell.
That's really the only useful thing from there I can think of.
You can totally tell, like, when something's genuine or not genuine, I think.
When people
stuff to consider.
In the past, whenever I've watched reviews of games, the only thing I've paid attention to is actually watching gameplay and seeing how well things work. Because whatever the person's saying generally has no impact to me on like whether or not the game's good. Because like, it's good to hear about it's good to hear about the game, but I don't think they should really give a call, or there shouldn't be like a grading level. Like honestly,
oh no,
I can't think there's really a good way to grade it.
There's like I can always give an average of fair reviews you can probably see for games, and not that they always have to fall into those fair reviews, quote unquote, but you can definitely like. I forgot what I was trying to say. Because I started coughing. The reviews are pretty reviews give you a quick look of, oh, how well is this game doing, or something like that. You know, like how other people like this, and you can figure it out and stuff.
Then it needs to be reviews shouldn't exist from like in that case I wouldn't. Maybe a better way to put it is professional reviews shouldn't really or don't mean anything. But like if you take a large demographic of people and you're like, hey, rate this fucking game, and like take like the average of what people are rating.
Metacritic.
I mean, I don't know what they do. I don't know.
That's literally what Metacritic does.
All right, well, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, that's partially a good way to do it, anyways. Oh fuck! Stop hurting me, pieces of shit. Oh, I can go up here.
I get, but the problem with that you get with that though is it's hard to filter out people who are just like, fuck this, I don't like it. But
that's why they have professional. They have review. Well, they don't always have professional reviewers. They do have IGN, but they have reviewers like
What's a professional review mean? How do you become a professional at reviewing something?
When I say professional, I mean you actually are. You do it properly. A proper reviewer.
That's subjective.
It's sort of subjective. I've given off some of the things that make it so.
I'm just saying, but like that's your opinion of what's right.
Yeah, but it's my qualified opinion. I play a lot of fucking video games. I know. Like,
okay, you realize a lot of people play a lot of video games.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not wrong. See, that's the point. That's what I'm saying. Opinion. It doesn't have to like. I'm not saying it has to agree with me specifically. Or even with my average. Average of what's a fair review. That's an opinion of what most people will say about this. Like on a guess, like this game, probably 6 to 8 ish. Those would be fair reviews. And then somebody could say this is a fucking whatever 4 out of 10. And if they argue their reasons why, and they're not like, oh, this isn't fucking this isn't Jesus, what's a good game? This isn't Super Mario Galaxy or whatever. And that's what they argue the entire time. Well, that's probably a shitty review. But then if they list a bunch of flaws with the game and why they think it's a 4 out of 10, you know. I read a review. Okay. I think it was Polygon's review.
Okay, then I have... So then, at that point, I have a review that says a 4 out of 10. I have a review that says 6 to 8 out of 10. That doesn't tell me anything about the game. Other than it's somewhere between shitty and average. My point is, if they're both well done or well said, I have that.
Oh yeah, you read more than just one review, or you read just one review. You do whatever you fucking feel like when coming to judge for that. But what I'm saying is like,
my point is like at that point, all the reviews have done that gives. I have 2 conflicting reviews, in which case it's not.
You look for more.
Okay,
Jeez.
but
then you look to see, Derek. If you see like one 4 out of 10 review, and then you see like 2,000 whatever other reviews,
yes,
like, you know, you're probably and the other 10,000 ones seem good. You know, you're probably gonna be like, oh well, this game's probably good, and that one person just, you know.
I realize that. I'm saying from a standpoint of people who quote or quote unquote professional reviewers.
What do you
mean? There's not going to be. You're not going to have 10,000 people reviewing something professional. No, but
you'll have a good. You can read a bunch of reviews, Derek. Like I read a bunch of reviews. I realize
you can read a bunch of reviews and like that, but I'm not going to base. I'm not going to base my. I'm not going to base my like.
No, you don't base your personal review on it, but that's a good fact to decide whether you want to waste your money.
Yeah, but I'm not going to base it on what other people are saying about it unless like they give me like. I more or less just want to know. I want to know like. Facts about it, not what they thought was right and what was wrong. I want to know like what actual shit about the game.
They give that shit too, dude, in review.
I realize that to an extent, but like,
then what are you complaining about at this point?
I'm
genuinely asking.
To be fair, the paradigm shift there.
I don't remember what we were originally talking about.
We were originally talking about how about reviews that are about like what people thought about the game. What are in reviews that you're talking about? Because like there's a point where it's like I still wouldn't judge like even if someone's like, yeah, this part works good but this part doesn't work good in the game. That's not going to influence me on a game or not, because I don't care how they feel like it works. I more care like I'd have to feel how it works.
Well, no, alright, see, but this is the thing. I'm not saying that's what you base your personal opinion on. This is for specifically deciding whether you want to get the game in the first place. You know, you gotta go to trusted places, you know, like, maybe it's not always going to be a review. Maybe you'll just ask your friend about it, like, say, you know, me, or
generally what I do.
Right, and then but, like, it's just, you know, like, I would kind of need to like lay it out on what actually makes professional review and not, because there's a lot of things to factor in. I've only gone over a small tidbit of what it is, but like I don't even know if professional would be the word I would use. Maybe just proper. I know I've been saying professional, but IGN are professional reviewers, and I don't think they do a very good job. Based on that, I mean, I guess I've only seen one review, but that was enough for me to believe the internet meme that IGN accepts all bribes for money, and they're whatever. That was a thing people said about IGN. But compared to like say Game Informer or whenever I read one of theirs, I feel like they illustrate, you know, all these things about it, why each thing is bad, why each thing is good. You know,
I don't think Game Informer does it well.
They do. They at least argue it well. Yeah.
No, I remember reading reviews for Wii Party, and I think it was I also read ones for I think Mario Party. It was 8 at the time. I remember seeing like some of their reviews for Mario Party game for like that party-esque games like that, and their arguments were these games suck. All they are just a bunch of mini games and stupid.
Right.
To an extent, to a point, which like
no,
yeah, you're not wrong that's a bunch, and like they gave them like horrible reviews, and like
but they've given good reviews to other Mario Party games. That's I guess it also probably depends on the editor too, or the reviewer, who might be that, but like
when I read that, I remember just thinking to myself, well, that's just because it's not your type of game.
Right. If you ever think that, you probably shouldn't trust those people. I've never read a Game Informer review where it's like that. Usually, even if it seems like it's not a game that's their type of game, they give reasons why they think, say like the mini games are all boring or they're all just the same repetitive shit or whatever, which might be one of their complaints of mini games, but. And that I think is defendable in, say, like a game like Mario Party, because like the reasons like, oh well, these mini games are they're like the same thing but for new skin. That's the point. You might as well just have one game with this one mini game at that point, really. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Let's see. They gave, I guess, from what I found real quick, they gave Mario Party 8 7.25.
Oh yeah, so that's another thing. People like assume that like a 7 is a bad thing. 7's not bad. 7's like okay and it's decent.
It depends on who it is, because like frankly, I don't think I've ever seen Game Informer give someone lower than a 6.
Oh, I have, dude. They have 6s in their current issue, I think.
With the exception of like I think Wii Party, which got like a 4 or 5. But like
no,
that's like the only thing I've ever seen
have
that got that low.
It's also worth noting that if there's not a lot to say about the game, they have a little back section where they have just like. Well, maybe not. I think they just like they don't put every single review in the magazine, but like if you go in the back corner, you'll see like or like one of the back pages, you see a bunch of different other games listed out there.
I know, and they have and they have the game and the number.
Anyhow, yeah, they definitely have lower than 6s all the time.
They gave Mario Party 2 a 5.25 out of 10.
When were they around though? Was that
apparently for Mario Party 2?
Yeah, but they might have reviewed that like after the fact. I'm sure they've done that before. You know what I mean?
This was in the year 2000.
Oh, that review? Wow. I guess they just didn't like it. I don't know. I gotta read
wrong.
it. Who knows, man? When was Mario Party 2 released?
99? Maybe? If I had to guess.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I suppose I could look it up. I have the power.
That's also a good, like, 10 years before I even started reading them. So, you know.
Well, yeah.
Or something like that, yeah. I don't know, but so, like, there's a huge change in time then. So, like, it's
1999, or December 17th, 1999, so just, like, a little before Christmas, like, a week before Christmas.
Oh, okay. That explains why it's in 2000 then. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of things that go into it, but you can usually tell if somebody's just like, it wasn't their type of game, or like, they're not really giving a good argument. Recently, the guy I've been watching for reviews, I think his name is ACG. He tells you whether you should buy it, rent it, wait for a sale, or never touch it.
Well, right now, I'm at the point where, like, I don't have money, so unless it's, like, a game I really care about, like Fire Emblem.
Well, yeah.
I'm just gonna wait for a sale anyways.
Sometimes I don't look at reviews for sale. Well, I look to see if, like, Steam has, like, mostly positive or not, or mixed.
I do look at that on Steam, but that's usually because,
I read for those user reviews. I look for, like, a good user review and a bad user review to see why they hate it and why they like it. And I like a well-written one.
I mostly just look for, like, game broke, doesn't work. I look for like, is the game like gonna run? Also, is it what? Also, does it like in Steam's in like the video that they have for the game or like pictures like screenshots? Like, what does it look like the game's actually doing?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I
look for well-written user reviews. There are well-written user reviews on Steam, and I look for them, looking for them. And like I said, you can tell when it's like something like 10 out of 10. Killed someone for tractor, would buy again, versus like, oh, this game was great because it let you do it. I'll let you do all these fucking things. This is what the game is about, and there are no issues, or there are very few issues. They'll list like pros and cons. There are people like that out there. Anyhow, I need to get going. And this episode, I think, has gone on for 40 minutes, and I don't know what we've done.
It's gone for like 30 minutes, I think, but like, yeah, I know that I've been thinking to myself, like, when's this gonna end?
Yeah, well, I haven't wanted to cut us off
at like 8:10 or 8:15.
Yeah, I know. And the worst part about it is, I don't know what we really accomplished this episode. We didn't even find any of the fucking ghostwriters like I wanted to. So, like, what do we do?
I don't know.
Sorry. Alright, bye.